Good morning. So, my first ever vlog. I've been wanting to do this YouTube channel for a long time, well over a year. And what a good time to start it, the last week before wrapping up for Christmas. A lot of people might leave it until the new year, but I figured, it'd be nice to get a bit of the Christmassy stuff into a vlog before it all disappears. So for context, I am a freelance web designer / developer. I've been self-employed for 5 years, just over 5 years now. I've been working in the industry for 15 or so. And yeah, I went self-employed in 2020 in September. And it's funny, I remember this time of year, whenever I worked agency side, I'd probably be off by now. But yeah, ever since going self-employed, I've always worked right up until like the 24th or close to it. And it's no different this year. I'm doing exactly the same thing. I've got a fairly busy week. Thankfully, I don't have any deadlines I need to wrap up this side of Christmas. So that's good. It means I can take it a bit more relaxed, but I've got a few projects on that I need to work on. And yeah, I guess I want to start this vlog and I want to run with this vlog format. Ideally, I'd like to do it every week and just sort of document kind of what I'm working on and a bit of lifestyle, kind of forcing me to do more than just the work side of stuff. I always thought when I wanted to go freelance, I just imagined all these not crazy things I wanted to do, but at least incorporate more lifestyle aspects into my week. I'll be honest, my schedule has very much turned into one of efficiency. So it's very much take the kids to school, get home, work until I have to pick them up, a walk in between, do some cooking just before picking them up. It's nice that I don't have a commute. But yeah, there's little things I'd like to incorporate into my schedule, and I think that's another sort of plus I'm looking for trying to do these vlogs, just trying to force myself to do more interesting things. But yeah, I guess that's the intro. I'd like to do these weekly, probably won't. Maybe even if it's every other week, that'd still be a win. But yeah, I want to sort of show you what I'm working on and then just day-to-day life of freelancing. I think I'll kick things off, maybe just showing you what I'm working on today. Like I said, it's that last week running up to Christmas, so I've got a few projects on this week. Yeah, I'll show you what I'm doing. So today I am doing some dev work. Yesterday I did some design stuff, but today I am working on a project called ipswich.co.uk. So this project, I built the website for this last August, I believe we put it live. It was brand new. And ever since then, we've been rolling out new features. And to give you some context, it is essentially reporting on the news within Ipswich in the form of articles. Most of them aren't very long and they publish a number every day. So we are making some updates to this. Earlier this month, I rolled out some new features, which is audio versions of articles and also video content. So essentially taking those written posts and converting them into audio posts. And they're also doing the same with video, kind of like Instagram story type things, but I think they're also going to be doing some more longer form content. And all of that's done, and what I am working on today is at the bottom of an article, hopefully you can see this, they highlight some partners. These partners are basically other businesses within Ipswich that pay my client to be featured on the website. So the more that a partner pays my client, the more ad shares they get. And in short, these two featured ones, it's not who has the most ad shares. It's all randomized. So even if you have a really low amount, you could end up here. It's random for each visit. But basically, the more ad shares you have, the more likely you are to appear in this sort of featured section. So we're updating the UI for this. This already exists, but we are showing 3 currently. We're going to be showing 2, and the rest of them will be shown in this little ticker here, just their names. And when you hover on it, it will pause. This is another new block. I need to see how the data is coming through for that. And then finally, we are updating the footer. So the footer is currently blue, but we are adding in the option for these generic blocks that my client can put in and highlight whatever content they want and push people off to wherever they need to go, whether it's internal or external. The nav, which is exactly the same as the main navigation, and then again pull through some highlighted content here. So that's the design, and the build currently looks like. So this is my local version. So this is an article. So as you can see, we've got this listening functionality that I mentioned here. And then also at the bottom, you are seeing these partners. As you scroll down, it flicks through them. And here I've implemented this already. So highlighting these, articulate with the remaining partners, this feature block, and this is older articles. I believe this is going, so that'll probably go. And then the footer currently looks like this because I have updated the data in the CMS. For this, we are using Datto CMS, headless CMS. Here's a query to fetch all the information for the new footer. So I've got my data, I'm pulling it through. I need to push it into my new footer now and then plug it into the UI, which I need to build up. So it's currently quite late in the day, so I'll be carrying on with that now and then probably finish it off tomorrow. And then there's a few more UI bits to do on this. But at the end of the week, I'll be doing some more dev work. But this is for a project that I designed. It's a marketing website, and I helped them refresh their visual identity alongside it. So maybe I'll go through some of that this week, or I might save it for my next vlog, but we will see. Good morning. So it's been a couple of days since I last picked up the camera and spoke to you, and I've pretty much been doing what I said I was going to do. I was doing dev work on the ipswich.co.uk project. If you remember, I showed you the designs that the client put together with the footer updates and then the article footer updates too. So I made those updates, I pushed it to staging, client reviewed it, and they decided they didn't like aspects of it, which is totally fine. Sometimes you'll see stuff in design and then once you've built it, it doesn't quite feel the same. So I pushed all of those changes live this morning, and I'll show you what they look like. But today I'm going to be doing some design work. So this is for an agency. So they have a client who's just gone through a rebrand with them, and they need to come up with some design concepts for the website. And yeah, I've basically spent a few days this month working on sort of concepts for them, just different design directions and refining it, that sort of thing. So I've got a few more amendments to make to that. And then, yeah, I'm not sure what I'll be doing for the rest of the day. I've got some other projects to work on. I have some new leads I need to follow up with, and yeah, it's funny. Usually when it gets to December, I don't get many leads at all. But a couple of months ago, I started posting more consistently on LinkedIn, and I've had maybe 4 solid leads in the past week. So one was from a designer, and this designer, he's worked with some like really amazing branding agencies like Pentagram and stuff. So like really, really good projects. That one's gone quiet, so I don't imagine that's going to go anywhere. I've had another one as a referral for someone who owns a gym, and he's looking to redo his website, but put some more automation behind the sort of lead process, just because it's very manual at the minute and kind of time consuming. Again, I don't know if this project will go anywhere. I have a call booked in tomorrow to chat to I believe they're a video agency. So the funny thing is, the website I'm going to be talking to them about, the agency that I worked at before I went freelancing did that website. So I don't know if it's to redo it or if it's like sort of support or what it is. But again, I'll find out tomorrow what the deal is on that. And the big project I'm sort of waiting to hear back on is it's to help them it's to redo their website, but it's to update their visual identity alongside that. And then once that project's done, it's going to be like a design retainer every month to help them refresh all the other assets to go with their business. So we're talking like emails, sort of any marketing collateral, might be like presentations, all of that stuff. So actually, getting that whole visual identity rolled out across everything. So I'm waiting to hear back on that. It's been approved verbally by everyone internally at this company. The problem they have is they are essentially firing their designer to bring me on board to help with all of this stuff. So yeah, maybe I'll hear back about that this week. But that's the project I'm betting on. And I've always found it doesn't matter even if it's verbally agreed, it's good to get it's always good to have options, because you never know when something might fall through or it might not. Thankfully, I've never had it happen. I've heard from people where it has happened and projects have fallen through. I mean, even if I have a signature on a piece of paper, I don't really consider it solid until I actually have money in my bank. So yeah, it's good to have options. It gives you leverage, and it also means you get to sort of charge higher rates because you obviously have options. So yeah, I'll show you what I did for Ipswich, and then I'll show you what I am working on today. Okay, so as I mentioned, the Ipswich content's all been pushed to live. This is the live site we're on right now. So this is the homepage. Not made any updates to this, and I believe there'll be some design updates coming for this after Christmas that I need to make. But yeah, most of the updates were on articles. So we did a little bit of tidying up. So like some of these captions were sitting on top of images. We've moved it all beneath here. So it's got a caption, and then it also has optionally who the photo was taken by, and I believe maybe like the company name, possibly, something like that. Did some more tidy up around like quotes and things. But yeah, part of the bigger work was around here. As you maybe remembered when I showed you the designs, this was all sat in this blue block here. We've moved it up to here now, changed this card design, and then put the rest of the partners in this ticker that just sits here. And it says how many other partners there are. This hasn't changed. And then the other update was the footer. So maybe you remember the designs. It was that dark grey colour. We basically kept the design the same. We just changed it to white instead of grey. Maybe you remember in the designs that these blocks, there's another row of this. So the client has the option to put more rows in, and they also have the option to put more cards in. It just goes into a carousel. So these are flexible. This is the same block as here. It just doesn't have an image. So it's quite flexible. It means they can put whatever content in here and sort of surface what they need to. So yeah, that was the Ipswich project. It's all live. All the other updates I'll be making are going to be post-Christmas, and I don't think there'll be too much of that needs to be made. But yeah, what I'm working on today is this project. So as I mentioned, it's a project that I'm helping an agency with. So they did a rebrand with the client and they need some help basically coming up with design concepts for the website. This was an earlier concept for the hero area of the homepage. It's changed slightly. We don't have this sort of gradient background anymore here, but we are running with this sort of subtle gradient throughout and this shape behind. That's part of the pattern for the client. Here's another block that I designed. It's like a social proof block that's got stats in it, quotes, sort of ratings from different online platforms. It's got a sort of reusable icon grid, but tying in that sort of pattern for the client in here to add some more visual interest. More on that sort of social proof grid, and as you can see, we've got the sort of these glowing colours here, and maybe you can see, but again, that sort of pattern used in the background. I've done a version where these whole blocks are the solid colours, but it's a little bit too prominent and stands out a bit too much. This fits the aesthetic of everything else much better. And then we've got the footer, which obviously is going to be a big block of colour to draw attention. But yeah, that's what I've done so far for this. Got some more updates to do to it, and most of it's evolving on the design. So the client saw it, they apparently loved it. The CEO saw it, loved it. Didn't have too many points to come back on. So I think it's more rolling this out now. So I'll be carrying on with that. And yeah, I'll keep you posted with updates. Okay, so it's the next day. Yesterday I worked on that design project for the agency, sent it over to the client, my client, not the end client. Really like the update, so hopefully I'll get to show you some more of that at some point. But today I'm working on this other project. So this is my main project I have on at the moment. So it's for a client called Action Links, and I started designing this in October alongside some other projects. But this one is, it's a design and a dev project. So I worked with, well, they came to me because they wanted to rebuild their website on a stack that their developer is comfortable with. Their current site's on Webflow. They said every time they go in to edit it, they break it. So as part of that, we were like, well, if you're going to rebuild it, you might as well address the design and your visual identity, because this is the best time to do it. So this is the hero area for the homepage, and the design's done, it's signed off. What we are still working on are some of these graphics, especially on the homepage. This one's going to be animated and walk through basically high level how their product kind of works. So that still needs to be done, but the rest of the UI design's done and started building it. One cool thing is on this project, you can see this yellow color here. We've got three like core brand colors. We've got the yellow, the coral, and then a blue. So the way I've set up the UI is these are all interchangeable. So this could be yellow, coral, or blue. Gives them flexibility. But it meant these graphics had to be designed in a way that they'd work on any of those colours. And as you can see, it's also used on this coral background. Here's more of those graphics I created. The client gave me some feedback on these yesterday, I believe. So I'm either going to work on updating those graphics, or I'm going to carry on building the site. Here's case studies. quotes, and then here's that blue color I mentioned. I don't know if you can see it, but there's these sort of subtle patterns used throughout, and there's a texture across everything, which I think is really nice. I think in the SaaS space, everything can feel a bit cold, and even the one I was working on yesterday, it's a nice aesthetic, but I feel like it's a design direction you've probably seen before. But yeah, this one I really like how all of this turned out. The client loves it. It was a very much collaborative process, figuring it all out. So yeah, that's the designs for the homepage. Here's some other pages, but what I'll be working through potentially today is this stuff. So the client came through with like a description of what they wanted the CMS graphic to be like, and then I went away and created some concepts. I've made it all very like componentized, so you can chop and change, add these to other, well, basically create new graphics from all of it if you needed to. So you got your little building blocks, and then this creates the actual graphic here. And as you can see, it's the same thing all the way over here. So yeah, I'll probably be working through these graphics today.